Is it recording? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is today's class is most important one I can say, because from tomorrow onwards, whatever the practical part we are going to do, right? So if you want to understand that practical part, you need to have the basic things to. You need to understand some basic things that I'm going to discuss today. Okay. So before I go ahead and show you the Azure portal, Azure services, I would like to tell you the hierarchy of Azure resources. Okay. Huh. Now, at the high level, actually, we have Azure Active Directory. That is the topmost user, I can say. That is the topmost user. I can say admin, account admin, I can say. How we have account admin in Snowflake, right? In the same way we have in Azure also, we have Active Directory. Now they renamed it to Microsoft Entra. Okay, this is old slide I'm using, guys. Here, you guys try to understand that. Okay, and on top of that one, we have root management group. Okay, see what happened. Like my client or my management has decided to like. Sorry, yeah.
Your voice is getting muffled. So is it only for me or for everyone? I don't know.
For me also, it's
For me as well.
blurring.
What, not clear?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
little bit muffled.
How is it now?
Uh,
Still
No voice.
the same? 1 second. Let me change my headset. Just give me a second, guys. Am I audible, guys? No?
yes, Shiva, it's much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is, Active Directory is nothing but it's a kind of account admin or the root user, I can say. So under that account admin or admin user, we have management group. Let's say my client has decided to my client has decided to like store their data in Azure, and they wanted to take some of the services from the Azure. That is what their decision. So at high level, what they will do is they'll try to create a root management group actually. Group, those are groups, that's it. Group means I can say a kind of user only. Okay. Under root management group, you can have like different groups actually. Product management group or the corporate management group or some other different departments are there. Different departments related groups also they can create here. Okay. Let's say departmental heads, I can say. Now this is nothing but your management groups. Under one management group actually, you can have any number of Azure subscriptions. Azure subscriptions. I'll talk about the subscription bit later, but just for now, you try to understand. They can create this product management group can create any number of subscriptions under one Azure account. Under one Azure account. Okay. So what is the use of the subscription is? What is the use of this subscription is? They can track the billing easily with the help of the subscription. The main use of subscription is billing, monitoring the billing. Okay, now I'll show you how that subscription looks like in the account. Okay, let me show you that. This is my Azure account actually, Azure cloud actually. In order to open this one, you need to type actually portal.azure.com. This is what we need to type. Portal.azure.com. That is the URL actually to log in into your Azure. Since I logged in previously and I saved my password, it was not asking me the username and password. Otherwise, it could have prompted username and password. I have to enter that username and password. Anyway, it has opened for me. Okay, this is high level Azure account. Under this, actually, you can have any number of subscriptions. Subscriptions you can find here. Click on this one. See, when you create a free account, actually, they will give you one default subscription called Azure subscription 1. Okay, if you want, you can create one more subscription also here. See, it is you can have it 2. See, the moment you try to create that one, they are clearly saying that it's a billing account. Why did they mention this point? That means subscription level, you'll get the billing. The account billing, Azure account billing, you'll get under like subscription. You'll get separate billing for the subscription. You'll get separate billing for the another subscription. Are you getting my point? Or if at all, if you want to allocate some budget to that one, you can allocate here. That's okay. See, subscription is purely related to billing, I can say. Okay, in general, as per my experience, okay, generally they'll be having one subscription. Under one subscription, they'll try to create many number of resource groups. Okay, under one subscription, you can have resource groups. What exactly mean by this resource group actually? Okay, let me tell you. In my organization, different teams are there. Only one team is there, or different teams will be there in the organization, in the client location. Different teams are there. Okay, so one team is trying to work for some sources. Another team is working for some other sources. Let's say let's say I have 10 different sources are there which I'm supposed to extract the data. Okay, one team is working on 5 sources. Okay, another team is working on 5 sources. Okay, now these 5 sources target is different. These 5 sources business users are different. These 5 sources downstreams are different. These 5 sources the business logic is different. Downstream is different. End users also different. Consider in that way. Okay, and these guys are using actually. Okay, I'm sharing my screen already. Is it for everyone or only for that guy?
We
Can
can
you
see
rejoin?
your screen.
We
Can you
see your
rejoin,
screen.
please? Yeah, I don't know who is that. Can you rejoin? What happened to this? Just a second. Sagar, your video is on. What happened to this? Just a second, guys. Just a second. Are you guys able to see now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's consider what I was telling. If you cut my flow, I'll miss that. Okay. Let's say 2 different 10 sources are there. Okay. 5 sources. I have 2 teams actually. One team is handling 5 sources. Another team is handling 5 sources. So one team downstream is different. This team downstream is different. Reporting is different. The end users are different. For this team also, end users are different. Um, uh, and the downstreams are also different. Okay. Now these people are using actually. Okay, they're actually trying to process batch loading. Okay, they wanted to extract the data from the uh, let's say 5 different sources. They are trying to process actually batch loading. In order to do that batch loading, they are trying to use actually ADF as a extraction tool. Okay, in order to process that data, they are using Azure Databricks. Okay, to store their key vaults, usernames and passwords. Actually, they are using actually Azure Key Vault. You'll understand all these terminologies. Don't worry. Since this is the first class, slowly you'll get habituated to that. Okay. So these guys are actually processing streaming. These guys are dealing with the streaming data. Okay. For that, they are using Azure Event Hub. Event Hub. Okay. Let's say for processing their data, they are using actually Azure Databricks. Okay. These guys are also using Azure Key Vault. See, resources are different, right? For this team and for this team. I need to keep all these resources under one group. This is one group actually. This is another group. This one I call it as a resource group. I may have different teams in my organization. Each team may handle with may have different services in Azure. So this team may handle only with these tools. This team will handle with these tools. So I'm trying to maintain all these services as one group. So that one I call it as a resource group. Okay, those resources I call it as a resources can be virtual machine, resources can be ADF, resources can be ADB. It can be anything. So this is the hierarchy you need to understand. See, at a high level, when you get into the project, they'll give you access directly to the resource group. You will not be able to see the subscriptions management groups and the Active Directory and all, because you are the developer. That's it. You're going to deal with only resources, not with the subscriptions and the other things. Subscription is purely billing related thing, right? Why should they give access to you? So like that, any number of subscriptions they can have. Under one subscription, any number of resource groups they can have. Under one resource group, you can have any number of resources. Okay, clear?
Can you repeat that once again?
In an account, in an Azure account, you can have any number of subscriptions. Okay, how I've shown you just now, Azure subscription 1, Azure subscription 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, any number of subscriptions you can have, so that you can track the billing easily. Under one subscription, you can create any number of resource groups. Under one resource group, you can have any number of resources. Clear? When you get into the project, they'll give you access to the resource group, not to the subscription, not to the management group.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Now, moving on, guys. Next one. I'll show you how the things will work in the backend. I'll show you. Don't worry. See, I'll tell you one more thing here. This is also one of the hierarchy I can say. Under, I mean, see, this is not a fixed one. I can say. There is no guarantee that every organization will follow the same hierarchy. I mean, definitely you'll be having subscription, resource group, and resources, but not exactly dev, prod, monitor, marketing. There is no rule that they need to have all these subscriptions. I'm just trying to convey here. You can create subscription under one subscription. You can have resource groups. That is what my intention here. Let me show you one more scenario here. This is one more scenario. Under root management group, directly you can have different departments. Let's say human resource, HR team, IT team, marketing team. Under HR team, you can have, let's say, dev test subscription. Under IT, you can have production. Under that one again, you have a geographical region 1, 2 a group again. Under one group again, you may have EA subscription 1, 2, like that. Under this subscription, you may have like resource groups. Under that resource group, you may have resources. See, the hierarchy is varies from org to org, I can say. Clear? Okay. One more point I wanted to tell you here is why we need to create this resource group is we need to, what are all the services you're using here? Let's say I'm trying to use ADF, Azure Databricks, Azure Key Vault, Event Hub, like blah, 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 different services. All those services metadata will be stored in one place. That metadata has to be stored at one place. That is nothing but your resource group, I can say. Only metadata. The metadata related to the resources, I can say, will be stored at one place. That is nothing but your resource group. Okay. Getting my point? Let me move on here. Now, before that one, I'll show you how to create that resource group. Let me cancel this subscription, guys. I don't want to create any more subscription. I already have one subscription here. Previously, we used to get actually free trial subscription. Now they started giving the subscription name as Azure subscription. Under this one only, I need to create resource groups. Okay. For that, I'm just going to the home page. Now, how to create that resource group? I already have the resource groups here, which was created by some other guy. Okay, I'm using one of the student account, guys. Actually, I'll show you how to create this Azure account as well. This week, you guys don't create this Microsoft Azure account because the validity of this account is only 30 days. Do not create that. Okay, so our classes will go for next 1 month. By the time you guys start the project, actually, your subscription will get over. And whatever the credit card you're going to use for creating the subscription for account, right? You cannot use the same credit card again in your lifetime. So do not create the Azure account right away in this week, I can say. You create it in the next week and you start practicing from the next week. Because this week we are going to discuss only basics. Next week onwards, we will try to understand about the complex scenarios. At that time, you try to create and quickly start practicing the things. Okay, now if at all, if I want to create resource group, actually, you can search that one here. You can search that one here. Just a second. You can search anything here directly. Global search is there here to the Microsoft account. You can search here. I'm searching here. I need resource group right here. I'm searching here resource groups. So there are 2 resource groups are currently. I wanted to create a new resource group. For that, I need to click on create. Guys, in real time, you are not going to create the resource group. Admin team is going to create that. You're not going to do that one. Okay, they will not give you that choice. They'll not give you that option. This is completely managed by admin team. Okay. Now this resource group I should create under this subscription. Under this subscription. Currently it is disabled. That's okay. We can go ahead and create it. Let me click on and check here if there are any other subscriptions here. Let me quickly go on here. I think it is disabled. Why it is disabled? Current cost is only 7.83. It is disabled. Okay, let's try to go ahead and create that one. Let's see if you get any issues, we'll take another account. Okay, resource group I'm clicking on. Create resource group here. And I wanted to create a resource group here. Let's say batch 21 underscore RG. This is what I wanted to create. Batch 21 underscore RG. You can give any name here, no problem. Always try to give everything naming conventions in Azure in lowercase. That is the best practice. Okay, do not use upper cases. Do not use camel cases here. Use only lower cases. Okay, in which region you wanted to create this resource group? In which region? So currently I'm located in ES region. I need to select always the nearest region to me, right? That is what the rule I've told you right yesterday. You always need to select the nearest region to your location. So for me, they've already selected the nearest location. Or if this is not their nearest location, you can go ahead and select the nearest location. For me, I think ESTS is the nearest one. Yes, this is the nearest one. Okay. Now click on next. And if at all, if you want to give anything like development environment DEV, you can give that one. Oh, sorry. I need to give here environment, and I can give here dev, so that I can easily recognize whether it is which environment this resource group is there. Okay, I can give like this, and click on next. Validation failed. Why? Okay, I think I need to delete this case. One I should delete actually. I think it is creating. Sorry, just a second. Why it is asking? Okay, let's leave that one. Let's remove this one. No problem. Let me click on next here. What happened to this? This is optional anyway. ENV, and this is dev environment. ENV. Why it is asking all these things? That's okay. We'll click on next here. Just a second, guys. That is optional actually. You don't need to create that. B21 underscore RG. Always try to mention the object type at the end. Or you can create like this also. RG underscore B21. You can create underscore I can mention, or hyphen also you can mention, no problem. You can mention like this also. Okay. Object type you need to mention at the initial. And after that, whatever the name you wanted to give, you can give like this. Click on next. I'm not going to give anything here. Click on next. Missing or invalid. It's optional. Why it is asking? Apply the tags that your Azure logically organize them by categories. A tag consists of key name values. That is correct only. But this is optional, right? Why is it asking? Okay, directly what I will do is I'll try to use here review plus create. Arey yaar. What happened to this? Environment.
I think in the basics we are getting the issue.
Basics, huh? Oh, okay. I think the subscription is disabled, right? That is the reason we are getting that issue. Not in the tax. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I think this account is disabled. That means it would have expired.
Mine also got expired.
Yours also.
Um,
Switch directory.
But it is showing, $7 something like that. Do we need to pay that or?
That no. We don't need to pay that actually. Default directory switch. One second, guys. I think it is taking sign in with the no, this account only. Switch directory. All directories. This is the one. This is correct only. I think this account would have expired, guys, by this time. I can go ahead and
subscription.
yeah, I can.
Subscription.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and create one more subscription here. Go on mute, please. I don't know who is that. I cannot able to create it because we need to upgrade. See here, please upgrade your account before adding the new subscription. Upgrade now. So If at all, if you want to create one more subscription, you need to. Anyway, this account got expired. Sagar, you have your account, the one you have shared yesterday with me.
No, that is also got expired.
Okay, my bad. I need to use the credit card now. Okay, let me try to start creating that one, guys. Okay, what I will do is I'll try to. I have Microsoft account actually, which I've taken officially day before yesterday. I'll try to use that account. I'll demonstrate now how to create a Azure account first. Okay, we'll try to create a new account first, and after that we'll try to like start discussing about that one. Okay, so for that, what I need to do is I need to just type here Azure account creation. This is what we need to type in Google. Okay, just click on this one. Just click on this one. See, this is the home page of the trial account actually. You need to click on. There are two options actually: start free and pay as you go. Start free is nothing but you'll get 30 days of trial period actually, and $200 worth of credits. See here, start with the $200 worth of credit here, and 55 plus services are always free for 1 year, and popular services free for 12 months, 1 year, and 55 plus other services are free always actually, and some of the services are free up to 12 months, and some services are not free. You need to pay for that. Okay, that means they are going to charge from the existing credits actually. Okay, for that, okay, what I'll do is I'll just click on start free. Okay, the moment you click on that one, it will ask you to like it will prompt you to enter the username and password. My sincere suggestion is here, you try to create one what I can say, Outlook account here, and you try to use that Outlook account so that account creation will be easy. So for that, what I will do is I'll try to click on sign in with a different Microsoft account. I'll just a second. Just a second. I need to log out from that account, then only it will take actually. Just a second. Just a second, guys. Now I need to forget this actually. Again, okay. I wanted to use this account. Okay. Siva at the rate datatech5862 on Microsoft.com. This is my official account. Let me click on this one. Okay. And this is asking password. Let me enter my password. I'll not read out that password. Now I've given that. Okay. So this is saying that because I already created this Microsoft account, consider this is my Outlook account, Outlook ID. You guys also, if you don't have Outlook ID, Outlook email, you try to create it. Okay, you can. That is very easy. It will ask you actually whether you wanted to go with the Outlook account or not. You click on that one, create Outlook account, and you try to create that one. After that, you try to give that Outlook account here. Okay, I don't want to save this one. I'm just clicking on next. Hmm. Username password I have given here. I wanted to set up the different method. Choose the method. Authentication phone confirm. It's 919-727-667. Next. Receive a code. I'm supposed to enter the code here. Just a second. Yeah, it's 959332. Sorry. 959332. Okay, verification complete. Next. Done. My account verification is done, guys. Now it will ask me to enter the credit card details. Just a second. I've already given that credit card details while creating this account. I don't know whether it is going to ask or not. So directly it is asking agreement here, and uh, no tips and tricks not required. Click on next. Again, why is it asking? Okay, text me. Okay, verification code it is asking. Let me enter that. 132151. Okay. Yeah, now it is asking actually. Credit card I've already given, guys, because while creating the account itself, I've given that. That is the reason it is taking directly that. Otherwise, you guys also need to give the credit card details. Okay, and one more thing, guys, you try to understand. Um, they will not charge anything from your credit card until you give your consent. Without your permission, without your consent, they will not charge anything from your credit card. Do not worry, even if you are giving your credit card details here. No worries, nothing to worry. Okay, see, they are saying clearly, please provide the credit card and debit card details here. We'll make a temporary authorization on this card. Temporary authorization. Okay, but you won't be charged unless you move to pay as you go pricing. Once 30 days trial period or $200 credits are over, they will send an email to your registered email. Okay, boss, your account got expired. You wanted to disconnect from here. You wanted to you don't want to use this account anymore, or you wanted to go with the pay as you go model. Once you confirm that you're going with the pay as you go model, then only they will start charging from you. Otherwise, they will not charge. Okay, no problem. I'm just clicking on sign up here. Click on next. For you also, it will ask more details because my details are already there in Microsoft account. That is the reason it was not asking. Now it is asking actually my password. I'm giving my password here. Okay, let's click on sign in. Again, it is asking. Oh, how many times it will ask? Double 32 5. Yeah, stay signed in. Now see, my Azure account got created. You are ready to start with Azure. The account creation is also very easy, guys. Select to participate. No, I don't want to participate. Now see, it is clearly saying that go to Azure portal. Now I'm in the Azure portal. Now this is my limited or no access. I acknowledge. Quick start. All these things are not required. Directly go to the home page. This is your home page actually. Okay. Now I was telling you, right? The subscriptions are there here. I wanted to check what subscription they have created for me. For that, you just click on the subscriptions, and since my account is a paid account, actually, they did not create anything. But for you actually, you're going to create a free trial account. Right? This is not a free trial account. For me, it is a paid account only. Okay. Don't worry, I'll not use it fully. I'll try to create a subscription here. See, it is asking you wanted to go with the free trial account or pay as you go mode. Okay, let me try to click on free trial account here. Looks like you already have an Azure account. Sign up for the pay as you go. Use an existing subscription. Okay, get started. Skip. Skip. Yeah, this is the free trial subscription. Okay. What is that name they are using? This is the one, Azure subscription one. Now I'm able to see that. Previously, I was not able to see that. Now I'm able to see that. Okay, Azure subscription one. Now under the subscription, I need to create that resource group. For that, I need to go to the home page. I need to search here resource group. For that, I'm just clicking on this one. What happened to this one? Error occurred when writing resources, additional details for underlying the API. Current cost not available, active. That's okay. Home page, resource groups. Code access data and refreshing the page. Okay. Let me try to refresh this page, guys. Let me try to create it. It will definitely accept that. Create. No. See, it is asking resource group name. So it will allow now, definitely. So for that, what I will do is RG underscore, right? RG underscore B21. This is what you need to create. Now East US. Click on next. Here you don't need to give that actually. It's optional. If you want, you can give that one. I don't want to take that one, or you can give that one here. Environment. Let's say you can give it as development environment. Dev you can give here. Now click on next. Now see, it is validation passed. It is saying that validation passed. Okay. Now click on create. Now my resource group is created here. Under this resource group, you can create your resources now. Now, what do you want to create? What do you want to create? First, you need to understand about storage account. Okay, you have seen S3 bucket in AWS, right? In AWS, especially. In the same way, here also we have one storage. We have one storage account where you can upload your files and store your data, store your files or data. Okay, so that service name we call it as storage account. Okay, I told you under this resource group, you need to create those services. For that, what we need to do is open this resource group and click on create. Click on create. See, this is navigating you to marketplace. Marketplace is nothing but you are entering into the shopping mall now. In the shopping mall, whatever the items you need, whatever the groceries you need, you just pick those items. Similarly, here also, whatever the services you need for your requirement, you need to create those services here. Okay. So this is nothing but your resource group. Okay. I'll talk about this storage account a bit later. Before that one, I would like to explain about the Azure big picture. After that, I'll get into that one, guys. After that, I'll try to get into that storage account and all. Now, please try to focus here because you need to have at least basic idea on this slide. At least basic idea. Okay. Now, being a data, see, Azure has 200 plus services, guys. Azure has more than 200 services. Okay, you want me to show those services? Okay, let me go here. Let me go here and let me try to click on, see here, computer related almost 4,000. These are all the computer related services. Computer related services. These are all security related services. Okay, these are all web related services. These are all storage related services. All these. Okay, these are all media related services. These are all container related services. Like that, Microsoft has 200 plus services. Okay, now you don't need to understand or you don't need to learn all 200 services. The services related to data engineering, hardly 10 to 15 services are there. You just need to learn only those services. As part of this course, we are going to understand almost 5 to 6 services. Almost, along with ADF, 4 more additional services we are going to understand. We are going to learn. Okay. Can somebody check how many number of services are there exactly in Azure? Can somebody check that? Okay. So let me tell you here. So these are all the different I can say ingestion tools. You'll get actually data from these different sources. Okay, you may get the data from the web application, you may get the data from the transactional database, you may get the data from the smartphone, you may get the data in the Parquet format, you may get the data from the IoT devices, and the streaming data you may get from phone also. You will get the data from the API also. You may get the data. Okay, in order to extract this data from these sources, actually, okay, first I need to extract this data. I need to keep it in somewhere in the Azure, right? And on top of that one, I can do something. First, I need to extract the data from all these sources, and I need to store the data temporarily into Azure. To store the data, I have all these services. The first service and mostly used services, is data lake. This is nothing but your storage account. This is your storage account. Data lake. Similar to your S3. Okay, we'll create that one. Don't worry. Okay. So you can store the data in the relational data as well. You can create that one as well here. Okay. You can process that data using the event hub. See, I'm talking about here data lakes and the extraction tools, I can say. Extraction tools. Okay, these two are the data lakes, I can say. Now these are the extraction tools, I can say. Okay, Event Hub is one of the data extraction service in Azure, which actually process streaming data. How you have Kafka, right? In the same way, here also we have Event Hub. Okay, now in order to this is for streaming. If you want to do batch processing, you need to use Azure ADF, Azure Data Factory. DF is nothing but data factory, where you can create a pipelines and process the data. Okay, if not, you can use Synapse Analytics as well. This is also one more service. Synapse Analytics is a combination of Databricks and ADF. Combination of ADF and Databricks. I'll talk about this one also. Okay, and you can store the data in a Spark tables as well here. These are all the data lake and the extraction tools, I can say, in Azure, which are related to data engineering especially. Okay, now extraction is okay. You need to process the data, right? In order to process the data, the very famous tool in Azure is Databricks. Databricks is not a native Azure tool, guys. Native Azure service. Databricks is a third-party company. That company or that company actually utilizing Azure services in the backend. How your Snowflake is utilizing AWS services and Azure services, in the same way, Databricks also utilizing the compute and storage services in the backend. This is not a Azure native service, but people call it as the Azure Databricks. It's not an Azure Databricks actually. It's a Databricks, that's it. You can create this Databricks in AWS as well. You can create this Databricks in GCP as well. Databricks is a third-party company. It's an application. You can deploy it in any of the cloud, similar to your Snowflake. This is for batch processing. If you want to process streaming data, you can process that one using Stream Analytics. This is only to capture the data. But in order to process that, doing the transformations and all, you can use Stream Analytics. Here also you can create pipelines and you can process that data. Okay, and one more thing is there, that is Synapse Analytics. Synapse Analytics can extract the data, can process the data, because Databricks is inbuilt service in Synapse. Or if at all, if you want to perform any AI related things, you can use Azure ML as well. These are the data processing tools. Once the data is processed, you need to store the final data, right? That you can store it in a Azure SQL. This is one of the, I can say this is a SQL server. You have SQL server, right? On-premise SQL server, right? This is cloud SQL server. Azure SQL is nothing but a cloud SQL server. Or you can store your data in Cosmos DB as well, which is a NoSQL database in Azure. It's an Azure service. Or you can store your data in a Azure Synapse Analytics as well. It gives actually a data warehouse kind of environment. Now your Snowflake, like this Synapse Analytics is a competitor for Snowflake, but this is not that much famous because it's a costly service actually compared to Snowflake. If you know Snowflake, if you know ADF, if you know Databricks, Synapse is damn easy. Damn easy, I can say. It's a combination of all three, I can say. Okay. Once you store the data in the databases or Cosmos DB or in the data warehouse, you need to expose the data to the like reporting tools, visualization tools, I can say. So Microsoft visualization tool, famous tool is Power BI. Okay. Or you can give that, you can expose that data to the Tableau as well. You can expose that data to the React as well. And you can expose that data to the Synapse BI tool as well. Out of all these things, the famous one is Power BI. You guys know that. Okay. And in order to support all these things, actually, they have like small tools are there. I'll talk about that one as well. Okay. The first and very important one is Azure Key Vault. You know what is this? When you want to extract the data from so and so database, you need to take actually username and password from this database, right? And you have to store the details in ADF, right? You're not supposed to store username and password in the ADF directly. You have to store somewhere in the some other service in Azure secretly. Okay. In AWS, we call it as a secret wallet. Here also we have similar to that one. Here also we have Key Vault. Okay, you have to store usernames and passwords here, sensitive data in this particular service. I'll show you this one. Practical, I'll show you how to store that. Okay, and if at all, if you want to manage the usernames of Microsoft Azure account, actually, you need to use Azure Active Directory. How you're creating usernames in Snowflake, right? In the same way here also you have to create usernames. I'll try to demonstrate this one also in Databricks. And next one is, do not scribble my screen, please. Please. Next one is network security group. I told you right yesterday, we have private endpoints, PEPs, private endpoints. That means if you don't want to take services from the public network, if you want to take the services only from the private network, I can say you can enable that NSG. I'll show you this one as well. And if at all, if you want to create any policies, right? How we have created policies in AWS, similarly, we can create policies here as well. Okay, and coming to this one, and if you want to migrate your code from one environment to another environment, then you have to use Azure DevOps or Terraform. Okay, you can use any of these tools. Terraform you can use as an infrastructure tool, I can say, and Azure DevOps is a DevOps tool, I can say. If you want to spin up the services, you can use Terraform here. If you want to like migrate the code, you can use Azure DevOps. And if at all, if you want to manage your networking related things, you use these services. And the last one is, once the pipeline is failed, you need to get alert, right? How you have SNS service in AWS. You have seen that SNS service, right? how you have SNS service, how to configure, what is the architecture of that, how it is working in the backend. That and all I explained already. How you have SNS service. In the same way here also, we have some services are there. That is logic apps or log analytics. And Azure monitors is also there. Okay, and you'll get the cost alerts as well. You can create that alerts. I'll show you how to create this one as well. And you have app insights as well. So you need to have at least a basic idea on all these services. At least basic idea. Yes. Any question here? At least, did you get a basic idea what are all the different services are there in Azure related to data engineering, especially? See, I'm not discussing about all 200 services which are there in Azure. I'm focusing only on the data engineering related ones.
Shiva,
Hmm.
so instead of Databricks, so can I use the data build tool?
You can use here.
Oh,
No problem. You can integrate that one with the ADF.
oh, okay.
That is there. That integration is also there.
So Databricks is the optional one. So I
Yes.
can use. Okay.
Databricks is optional. Directly you can integrate that one with this here Synapse Analytics, not with the ADF. You can integrate that directly with the Synapse Analytics. DBT supports the Synapse Analytics as well. The only thing is you need to extract the data and put it in first Synapse Analytics. On top of that, your DBT work starts.
Okay.
Siva, instead of Synapse, can we use Snowflake?
You can. You can.
Okay.
No problem with that. Can I get my screen back? Just a second, guys. Just a second. I'm sharing my screen again. Yeah. Hope you guys are able to see my screen.
Siva, one more question. Data engineering means what tools exactly we need to learn, Siva?
All these tools.
All these.
Uh,
Okay.
See, all these are easy. See, all these are interrelated actually. Main things that you need to understand is data lake, which is a basic one actually. Okay. And anyway, we are going to discuss ADF. Along with that one, if you have idea on Databricks, it's good. If you know these three, Synapse Analytics is damn easy because it's a combination of these three actually. Okay, and these are all batch processing. Mostly they are going to use. Okay, let me tell you the flow here so that you'll understand. Let me talk about that one. Just a second. This is the one. In general, in general, we use these services in real time. This slide I have taken from the Microsoft official account. Okay, let me talk about that one. This is one of the use case, BA use case, I can say. What they're trying to do here is they have data in all these sources. They're getting the data from IoT. IoT is a continuous data, actually, streaming data. They're getting the data from the APIs. They're getting the data from some social networking websites, social media. They're getting the data from the SaaS. They're getting the data from some applications, third-party applications. They're getting the data from, let's say, RDBMS or SQL Server, or getting the data from the files. Okay. If it is a streaming data, generally, which service we use to extract the data? Which service we use? You've seen right already in the previous slide. Which service we use? Event Hub, right?
Event Hub, yeah.
Event Hub is a streaming service actually. See, at least you try to understand the purpose of the tool. Event Hub is the streaming service, I can say, streaming extraction tool, I can say, in Azure. Okay, remaining all are like batch processing, actually, batch kind of sources. So I use data factory to extract the data from those sources. Correct? Once you extract the data from the event hub or data factory, you need to store the data somewhere in the storage account, somewhere in some storage. Because this event hub and data factory doesn't store any data. They are just ETL tools, I can say. ADF is an ETL tool. This is also a tool, kind of ETL tool, only extraction tool. Not ETL, it's a kind of extraction tool, I can say. These tools doesn't store any data. So you need to store the data somewhere in the some storage account. That storage account is nothing but your Delta Lake. Sorry, data lake. Okay. You store the data and you need to process the data, right? After that, after storing the data, you need to process it, right? If it is a streaming data, which service we need to use to process it? Stream analytics. If it is a batch processing, actually, you need to use Databricks. You need to use Databricks. On top of that one, if at all, if you want to use any machine learning related services, you can use it. Once you process the data, then you need to store the data into Cosmos DB, or directly you can store the data in the Databricks itself. Databricks nowadays giving a data warehouse kind of environment with the Unity catalog. That means Databricks can store the data. It is not only a processing tool, it can also store the data with the help of these data lakes. You can expose the data directly to the Power BI. Even Stream Analytics also somewhat it can store the data. You can expose the data directly to the, for some time only, not permanently here, for some time it stores the data actually. Okay, you can expose the data directly to the reporting tools, or you can give that data to the Cosmos DB, which is NoSQL database. On top of that one, if at all, if any web application is consuming the data, they can use it. They can build the reports and dashboards on top of that. This is one use case. Okay. Let me erase this just a second. Now moving on. This is one more use case. One more use case I'm talking is, let's consider I have the data in on-premise database, that is SQL Server. Let's say I have the data in a external disk as well, some other database, some other place actually. Okay. I need to first extract the data into the like a storage blob. I can use ADF for that actually. Okay. On top of that one, you can use Synapse Analytics to store the data, final data, I can say. There is no rule that you have to use here Databricks every time. You can use Synapse Analytics also. Databricks is a Synapse Analytics contains the Databricks as an inbuilt service actually. You can use that one here to process that data, or you can use directly like pipelines as well here. You'll understand slowly that one, don't worry. And you can expose that data directly to the Power BI. In between, you can build that models, I can say cubes, analysis cubes, and you can expose that data to the visualization tools. This is also one of the use case. I'll talk about one more use case here. This is the one. In general, most of the project uses this. Most of the project. Even in our project also, we are using the same combination, except this. Except this. Okay, let me talk about that one. You may extract the data from the log files. You may extract the data from the media. You may extract the data from some files. You may get the data from some third-party applications. If you want to extract the data from all these sources, the one and only favorite tool is Azure Data Factory, because I need to do batch processing here, not the stream processing. I don't have any streaming data here. I have batch data. I'm supposed to process the only batch data here. So for that, I'm going to use Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory does not store any data. Does not store any data. So it has to extract and store the data in a Azure Data Lake, which is a storage service of the Azure. Okay. Your data factory can process your data. Only small amount of data it is going to process actually. If at all, if you want to process huge volume of data, then you go and pick this tool. That is Azure Databricks. In Azure Databricks, you're going to use the language. You're going to use the execution engine as Spark. Language, you can use Scala or Python or SQL. Anything you can use. Okay. You can process that using with the help of Azure Databricks. And you can store the data into Azure Synapse Analytics, which is a data warehouse in Azure. Kind of like a Snowflake, I can say. Synapse Analytics can store the data. It's a data warehousing tool, I can say, in Azure. It can store the data in Synapse Analytics. Okay. And on top of that one, you can expose the data to the visualization tools. Now, in our project, actually, we are not doing this one. We are not doing this one. We are using ADF as extraction tool. We are processing the data using Databricks, and we are storing the data in the Databricks itself. Because I told you, Databricks is providing Unity catalog. That means like your data warehouse kind of environment it is providing here. That means data lakehouse it is providing here. We need to store our data here. We are not using these services anymore because Synapse Analytics is a costly service actually. Most of the companies, they don't use Synapse Analytics. You take any Azure project, mostly they are going to use this one and this one. That's it. 80% of the projects I can say. Remaining 20 may use this one. But 80% of the project uses this one and this one. For sure, I'm telling. So that is the reason why I was telling you, I'm going to cover this one and this service as well as part of this course. I'm going to give you only 20% of the content on this one. Remaining thing you need to learn. If you know PySpark, if you know Spark concepts, then Databricks is damn easy. Damn easy, I can say. Because we are going to write the code in PySpark or Scala or SQL. You can use SQL also here. If you know SQL, Azure Databricks is easy. If you know SQL, Data Factory is also very easy. Okay. So far, so good.
Siva, one doubt here. Here, Azure Data Lake is a storage area, right? Again, Azure Synapse also storage area. What is the difference between those two?
Synapse Analytics is a data warehouse of the Azure. Data warehouse means how you have Redshift in AWS. In the same way, we also have Synapse Analytics here. How we have Snowflake, right? In the same way we have here Synapse Analytics. That means ultimately it is going to store OLAP data.
In data lake storage, OLAP data won't store.
It is just a storage system right here.
Okay.
Backend, it is going to use this service only.
Mhm.
But you need to get the data in the form of tables right here. You need to have the data in the form of tables, right?
Right.
So backend, it uses this one only. But here you can query the data in the form of tables. This is a competitor for Snowflake, I can say, for Redshift. In Redshift, the equivalent service for the, in AWS, equivalent service for this one is Redshift. In Azure, Synapse Analytics. In GCP, Google BigQuery. This Databricks is there in all the clouds. All the clouds. In Azure also you can create this. AWS also you can create this. And GCP also you can create this. And in Azure actually, so in Azure, ETL tool is Azure Data Factory. In AWS, ETL tool is Glue, AWS Glue. GCP, I'm not sure what exactly ETL tool is. The ETL tool name. Okay. Got clarity at least at high level idea? Come and tell me what are all the services you are going to use as part of the data engineering? What are all the ETL tools are available? Tell me. For batch processing, what ETL tool is there?
ADF is used.
ADF. For streaming data processing?
Glue.
Event hub.
Yes.
Event hub.
Event hub. Event hub.
Sorry.
Okay. Event hub. Okay. To store the data, what is the service we are going to use? To store the data.
Azure Data Lake.
Data lake.
Data lake.
Databricks.
Okay. To process the data, which service we are going to use?
Databricks.
Databricks.
Databricks. To store your analytical data, which service we are going to use?
Synapse Analytics.
Synapse Analytics.
Yep.
Okay. Which one is the visualization tool in Azure?
Power BI.
Power BI.
Power BI. Exactly. Okay. So at least try to understand it. At least have that idea, basic idea.
Siva, I have a question. Like in the target, we can consider like Synapse Analytics or Power Bricks here. In Azure Bricks, you said
Target
like
is
we
Synapse
can.
Analytics only.
Okay. So you said like in Azure Databricks also we can able to store somewhat data, right?
Your voice is breaking actually.
Oh, sorry. You said
Yeah,
like
you
we
are
can able
audible
to
now.
store
You can
some data in
repeat your
data.
question.
You said like we can able to store some data in Databricks also, right? So we can't consider like data also can act as some kind of data storing and we can consider as a target, and from there we can able to build the Power BI reports. Is there any possibility like that? Since it is already showing
Okay,
some data.
you mean to say that we are going to store the data anyway in the Databricks? You can expose that. Can you
So-
come again? Come again.
Yeah, correct.
Your voice is breaking in between. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Siva.
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying in Azure Databricks, we can able to store some kind of data, like some level of data, right? Consider like some data we can
Not
able
some
to store.
level. You can store here directly OLAP data here.
Exactly. Consider like my source is a OLAP data, then we are loading up to Databricks. From the Databricks to we can able to directly generate the report from BI. We don't want to.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
directly do that. This is also possible.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Okay.
You can do that.
So here one more thing, like here Azure Databricks coming into the picture, it is like a small kind of data. Then we are going to use
No.
this.
For
data
for
factory.
huge data processing.
Yeah, for huge we'll bring into the data bricks, but come some kind of things like normal data or some intermediate level data, we can go by the data factory. Correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
If it is a small amount of data, you can process using ADF. If it is a huge volume of data, you need to use Databricks for sure.
So from this data bricks, we'll directly connect with different sources as shown in the data factory,
Yes.
which is considered so many sources injecting the data.
Yes.
Instead of
Yes.
that place, we can bring into the data Azure bricks and we can pull it out the data in
Yes.
either in
Now,
all the way.
nowadays, this combination is very famous actually, because they introduced recently, 2 years back actually, Unity Catalog. That Unity Catalog is acting as a data warehouse. Now, instead of spinning up all these things, and since it is a costly one, nobody is using this one. Now,
Acha,
people started moving towards the Databricks completely.
consider like my project has a huge volume of data in healthcare. In such case, I don't want to be. I want to be running batch process as a vast system of data on a daily basis. In such cases, I don't want to be bring this Azure factory into the middle of that, right? So I can directly connect it with all the source batches data into the data bricks and then loading into the.
No.
Not like that.
No. Azure Databricks is not a extraction tool. It's a processing tool.
So in such cases, for suppose I'm getting the data, huge volume of files data in a daily basis. It's contain large volume of content data. To read that data quickly or faster than. So this Azure factor may not be sufficient while pulling the data into that.
No. Yeah. There is a thin line between extraction and the processing. Extraction is different, processing is different. I told you Azure Data Factory can process small amount of data. Correct?
Correct.
Extraction, it can extract even TBs of data also.
Acha, okay, TK, okay. Processing and extract. Okay, extracting we can able to pull that from that place to extra. Okay, got it. Okay, processing we can able to do this data bricks from this factory to
yes.
this. Okay.
Yeah. First, you try to extract with the help of a data factory, put that in a data lake, and your Databricks will come into picture now.
Got it.
Take the data from the data lake and process it.
Got it. Okay. Thanks, sir.
Any other question, guys, before I move on? Next, moving on. This is at high level, guys. At least you need to have this idea.
This is Ranga. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So this ADF, we are. What is your suggestion? Just we extract data using ADF and putting in the blob storage. Then what is the advantage of using the native tools of Snowflake, like Snowpipe and all? So which is better in your experience?
You can use it. Happily, you can use it.
So is there any advantage versus disadvantages using Snowpipe versus ADF?
I can say, since Snowflake is not a complete ETL tool, it's not a fully automated ETL tool. Even in the real time also, 80% of the projects actually, or I can say 70% of the projects actually, using Snowflake as only to store the data. That's it. Snowflake is not ETL tool, right? Snowflake is used only to store your OLAP data, your analytical process data. So if you want to use the features of the Snowflake, you extract with the help of Azure Data Factory, store that it in a data lake, and get the data using the Snowpipe and all, and use the procedures or use DBT on top of that and do the transformations, finally load the data into Snowflake.
Yeah, that's what some of our.
That is also okay. There are some projects in the market who are using this combination. Really, I'm telling. They are using this same combination. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Moving on. Let me erase all these things. Next, The first service that I'm going to create in Azure is storage account. Okay. Now, how you are going to create that storage account? That's what we need to understand here. So blob storage. So that storage account, we call it as a blob storage. Let me. So we call that as a blob. Blob is nothing but a whatever the files we are going to upload into the storage account, right? That we call it as a blob, binary large object. The full form of this one is binary large object. One file is nothing but one blob. Okay, blob storage, file storage is designed for serving images or documents directly to your browser. That means you can upload your files, you can upload your images to the storage account, and you can share the URL to others to access that via URL. You can share that actually. I'll show you that one as well. How we can upload, how we can get that one through URL and all. Okay, storing the files for the distributed access, which is very important feature. Okay, that means, you know, when we have Hadoop, actually, we used to have storage as HDFS. We used to have storage account as HDFS, which is a distributed storage, I can say. Hadoop distributed file system. Okay, you know what happened here? If I try to upload 500 MB of data into HDFS, the data will be divided into blocks. That blocks, I can call it as a partitions. You know what is the block size of that? 128 MB is a block size. That means this 500 MB of data will be divided into 128 MB blocks. Then how many blocks you are going to get? So you're going to get almost 3 blocks. Now, you know who is going to divide that data logically into HDFS? Logically into HDFS? The Hadoop is going to do that one. HDFS system software is going to do that one actually. FS is a software. It's a software actually. That software is going to divide that one, divide that data logically. Now here also, since we are dealing with a huge volume of data, I need to have Hadoop kind of environment here. I need to divide that data into blocks. That is what I call it as a storing files for distributed access. Okay. So you will get actually distributed kind of environment in Azure. Even S3 also provides the same way, distributed access. You can store your streaming audio and video files. Okay, you can store your log files. You can store your log files. You can write your log files into blob storage. I'll show you this one also. The pipelines, how we can write it. Storing data for backup and restore and disaster recovery and for archiving. I'll talk about this one also after some time. Okay, you have to store the data in the storage account for backup purpose, I can say, which we don't access very frequently. I'll talk about this one also. Okay, and you can store the data for analysis purpose by our Azure hosted services. That means indirectly they are saying that your Azure Synapse Analytics backend, it is going to use this blob storage only. Or you can store directly your OLAP data in the blob storage. That is what they're trying to say here. Storage data for analysis. Analysis is nothing but OLAP. Your final data, data warehouse data. You can store it in a blob. Okay, now how to create that? We'll try to understand that. How to create that Azure storage account. Okay, let me try to go ahead and create that. Any questions before that? Any questions? Yeah, let me go ahead and create that. Where is my this one? This is here. Okay. How to create that? How to create a resource? Now I am in the resource group actually. You need to do the shopping now. In the marketplace, you are going to get all the services. For that, you need to click on create. This is my marketplace. Here I need to search all my services. In order to create a storage account actually, you need to type here storage. In AWS, you generally used to search S3, right? In the same way here also, you need to search storage account. Okay. So you're getting multiple options here. The relevant one is Microsoft product is this one. These are all the third party or some other applications actually. You don't need to use them. The Microsoft product is actually storage account. Okay, click on this. Okay, it is saying that this is a storage account. You need to click on create. The moment you click on that, under which resource group you wanted to create that service. I told you already, for one project, for one team, what are all the services you're going to use? All those services you need to create under one resource group. Anyway, I have to use here my resource group as batch 21 resource group. Okay. Now, next, you need to give that storage account name here. Okay. Here you need to give the unique name, guys. How you're giving unique name in the S3, right? And the same way you need to give the unique name here. Let's say B21 blob storage. This is what I wanted to give. Underscores, hyphen symbols are not allowed here. Only lowercase letters you need to use. Numbers and lowercase letters are allowed here. B21 blob storage. This is what the name I wanted to give. There should be unique name. Okay, I've created that. Under which region you wanted to create that service? Let's say I go with the East US region. That's okay. This is storage account, right? I'm going to store my files, right? I'm going to upload my files into that storage account, right? And okay, next they're asking actually performance. You want more performance when you try to access the data from that storage account. You want quick response from that, or you want medium response. Okay, here you have two options. One is standard. If you select standard here, okay, that means they are going to store your data in normal hard disk. In the back end, see, ultimately they are going to store your data in the data center only, right? In the data center, you'll be having racks. Inside the racks, you'll be having servers. Inside the server, you'll be having hard disk. That hard disk I'm talking here. That is a normal hard disk. If you select premium, they're going to store your data in SSD hard disk. I think many of you know what is that normal hard disk, what is that SSD hard disk. SSD hard disk is very famous and very faster, I can say, very faster one. Nowadays, every laptop is coming up with this SSD hard disk only. At least 256 GB of SSD hard disk they are taking, at least for operating system. Because this is faster one when you compare with the normal hard disk, HDD. Okay, you'll get very quick response if you select premium, but you need to pay a bit extra. You need to compromise in the billing. That is always there. Okay. Now, I'll go with the standard one. Next, our favorite option, redundancy. Now you tell me which option I need to go here. This is my dev environment. Consider this is my production environment. In dev, which one you are going to select? In production, which one you are going to select? Consider yesterday class was not happened. Which option you are going to choose here?
Local for dev.
Sorry?
Local redundant for dev. Locally redundant statements. LRs.
Why we need to select only LRs? Why not with the other options? Why not with the other options?
Because within the data center, it maintains 3 copies.
What is an advantage of that?
In the data center, we have the different tracks, right? I think 3 different tracks it will be saved. If one track is damaged, data will be there in other 2 racks, like that.
That is correct. That is absolutely. See, what is the benefit? What is the benefit? Other benefit here. Ultimately, end of the
It's
day,
low cost.
eventually, you are
Less
going. You have
charges.
to. You have to think about the cost here. Okay, so for that, what you need? Where is that? Sorry. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. So end of the day, you need to think about the cost here. So if you select LRS, the charges are very less. If you select GZRS, cost is more. For the development kind of environments, most of the time we select the LRS option. Okay. For the production, in the production you're going to maintain real data, right? The development you will have only like sample data only, not sensitive data. In the production you're going to maintain the sensitive data and the two real data. For that you need to have GZRS. That is the reason why I explained this concept neatly yesterday. If you don't have that knowledge, if they ask you to spin the service, you'll blindly go with this one. That was happened in one of the project actually. One of my colleague doesn't have the knowledge on this one. He blindly has selected GZRS. I asked him, why are you selecting this one? He said, casually I selected that. Why are you selecting casually? You need to know the impact of that one, right? If you select GZRS, it adds more cost to the client. Then they'll ask us, right, at the end of the day. So for now, I'll go with the LRS. Okay, click on next. See, I'm giving only here resource group name. That means this service comes under this group actually. And storage account name I've given, which is unique name I have to give here. The region you need to select so that you're going to store your data in this location or region, I can say. And redundancy is LRS. That means 3 copies of your data they're going to maintain in the same data center. Okay, now click on next. Nothing to do here. Don't select any of the option. Click on next. Nothing to do here as well. Do not select any option here. Click on next. Nothing to select here as well. Okay, don't select any option here. Click on next. Don't select here also anything. If at all, if you want to say, go with your own encryption technique, you can go ahead and select these options here and click on next. Do not select anything here. Click on next and click on create. It is validating everything here in the backend, whether you have provided correct details or not. If everything is correct, it will show validation is successful. Yeah, it is successful. Okay, now you can come down. It is giving summary here, and you need to cross check the summary, and you need to go ahead and click on the create, so that it is creating that service in the backend. See, the service creation is in progress. Deployment is in progress. You can see the status here. It won't take much time, hardly 20 to 30 seconds. Okay. Now let me, if you want, you can close that one, or you can keep it like that, no problem. Now deployment is completed. It will show the status here. Yes, deployment is completed. You just close this one so that page looks properly here. You can see the page properly here and click on go to resource. This is my storage account. Here I can store my data. Consider this your hard disk in your system. So can you store your data directly into the hard disk? Generally in your system, you store your data directly into hard disk without creating any drives. Do you store your data directly into hard disk?
No, we'll create partition like C drive, D drive, then we will store the data in D drive.
Yes.
C drive is operating system and D drive for other data.
Yes. Similarly, here also, you need to partition your memory. Okay. You can do that one with the help of containers. Currently, no containers are created here. This is just a log container. That's okay. That is the default one. You can go ahead and create that one. Okay. Let's say, I can say you can create anything here. Let's say my container, my underscore container. You can give any name here. Underscores are not allowed here. You can give hyphen symbol here. Okay. Even S3 also doesn't allow underscores. You can give directly hyphen symbol here. Click on create. This is nothing but your C drive. You store your data in your hard disk, actually in your laptop, actually directly into the C drive. Directly into the C drive. You generally create the folders, right? You can create the folders here. But do we have any option to create a folder here? Do we have any option to create a folder here?
No.
No. No. You cannot create any folder inside the blob. You cannot do that. Okay. That is the conclusion point for today. You cannot create any folder structure in your blob storage. Okay. That's the conclusion point. That's all for today.
Thank you, Siva.
Thank you, Shiva. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks for your time. Have a nice day.